Welcome back, Virgo. Thank you for joining me on my channel. My name is Emily Gear. I'm a transformative energy healer and a multidimensional channel. And I'm here with your now bi-weekly messages, which you may know by now will be obviously every other week. I'll be doing half of the zodiac one week and then the second half the next week. I will be starting the extended relationship readings again soon, however, not this week. Just needed a little extra time for my other job. However, if you find that you would like to do a personal reading with me or a private healing session, akashic record session, etc., you can schedule those on my website, which is IamEmilyGear.com. And there is also a recorded reading option on my website, which is at a slightly lower price point, to make it a little easier for you. And also I can schedule those in my day whenever I can fit them in. So Virgo, without further discussion, I want to get into your reading here. So we're looking for messages, please, for Virgo for the next 2 weeks. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the next 2 weeks, please. Messages for Virgo. Let's get some more info. That's too many. Messages for Virgo, please, for the next 2 weeks. We have just crossed into your sign, Virgo, so hopefully things feel like they are going well. Let's get a little more info. Okay. The Emperor is coming out for everyone. So what I've got here is the Five of Cups, which nobody likes to get. So that's why I was like, need clarification. Sorry, you can hardly see that because of the light. Five of Cups, 10 of Cups, and the Emperor. Okay, this is the message I'm getting here right now. Virgo, you are blocking yourself. You are causing your own problems so many times. And that is because of there's something in your rigidity that is causing your own problems, your own grief, your own guilt, your own shame. You're holding on to it unnecessarily, and you're actually, in some senses, preventing yourself from moving forward or allowing yourself to grow as the tall tree you can be, right? You're blocking your 10 of Cups energy. The wires are somehow getting crossed. I can say that because I'm a Virgo rising and I know I'm guilty of it. So I am on the same page, or I'm in the same boat as you guys. Now, in the Leo reading, you might want to listen to that. I don't know. I spent a lot of time talking about neural pathways, and I'm getting the same feeling from this card here, that there may be just sort of this lingering grief or guilt or shame, some kind of negative, like really intense and primary negative energy that you're holding on to, which is kind of preventing some of this I want to say like joy energy from being able to move through your energy system, i.e. I'm even seeing this as like your brain, and these are like the neurons, just like the synapses just firing. And so it's kind of like dampening that experience because you're still holding on to this thing because you're being very rigid about allowing that particular structure, which you're used to just go. And that's all we need to do is just decide to let it go. Now, a lot of people, in the beginning, maybe when they're just starting to work on this or just starting to awaken or whatever, can really use the help of an energy healer, somebody like myself. There are many other energy healers out there. This is not a plug for myself, but to kind of help to move that energy out, or to help to bring attention to the habit of being in that guilt or shame energy. You know, we just get these habits and ways of thinking that we don't change until we need to, you know, are forced into it. The tower did pop out while I was shuffling at some point. So it could be that at some point we're going to be kind of forced into having to change our way of thinking. I don't even remember how I started that sentence, so just know that I must have gotten across what I needed to, because I just completely wiped that. But it's on us, okay? It's on us to make that change, to make that happen. Yeah, here's this Four of Pentacles, which I often see as like this desperate death grip on the things that are not, they feel stable because we're used to them, but they're not allowing us to grow. And this week, I feel like a lot of it is mental. A lot of it is our habits, because I'm looking at the Emperor here, and today that feels to me like the structure that we've built for ourselves, the habits, what we're used to, what keeps us safe, right? What makes us feel safe. Okay, what else is coming out? What other messages are there for Virgo for the next 2 weeks? All right. Okay, I'm going to keep shuffling, but the sun popped out. The message I'm getting is really about letting the sun in. Jesus, this just came out for Leo. Five of Pentacles. It's just like allowing that, this is like that joy energy, allowing that to come in and really clear out. This is... Okay, the image you're giving me is that you have locked yourself in your own dank basement, and all of the plants are dying because it is so dark down there. It is so dark and dank. There's no light in. And the light needs to be allowed in so that the plants, the flowers, can continue to grow. And that is the growth aspect of yourself, the growth aspect of yourself that you've kind of pulled away from or separated from in fear. And that's the fear of not being able to control. They're saying not being able to control your environment or control your situation. So you've settled into these habitual ways of thinking or doing things that make you feel safe. We're being asked to really remove that, to let the sun in, so to speak, to allow the energies in which are transforming us at this time. And they're also saying that it's important to note there is nothing that you need to do except to surrender to that. Surrender to the change, the breaking away from, the breaking down of the structures that you have built. So let's say that you're in the habit of doing things at a certain time per day or during the day, and something comes in just out of the blue that you didn't create, and it just, well, you created on some level, but let's just say it just comes in. Just submit to the change. Submit to that. Allow yourself to be okay with that, right? And the anxiety, the fear, the worry, it doesn't even happen because you've made the choice that you're going to surrender to it. It's going to be okay. You're going to be okay with it. You can survive. You're letting that sun in. You're allowing the energy to come in and support and sustain you. You're not fearing moment by moment the other shoe dropping, because whatever drops, you're just going to be like, all right, going with the flow, surrendering. This is living in a state of surrender, which Virgo is good at on one level, right? You're good at surrendering into that which you have chosen to surrender into. But I think it is harder because we like our routines. We surrender into the structure of our routines, and now we're being asked to just let that all fall away too. This is a real, I want to say this is a real awakening moment for a lot of Virgos. I want to say that it might feel terrifying at first, but it is opening you up to a kind of, it's opening you up to this. Sorry, I amused myself and probably no one else. Okay, you're opening up to this 10 of Cups and this Sun energy because that you've been blocking out because you've been like missing the little like juicy bits of life by deciding how you're going to think or act or do all the time. And maybe not all the time, you know, everybody's got other planets going on there and other energies coming in, but the times in which you are being like that are the times in which you are blocking out the potential of these miracles, they're saying, the miraculous coming in. I feel my voice getting weird, so I think I'm dehydrated. Okay. What other messages, please, for Virgo for the next 2 weeks? Okay. This feels good. When you take your boundaries down, right? Take your walls down. I don't want to say your boundaries because boundaries are good things in general. Okay, there are all kinds. You can put up boundaries against positive stuff. You can put up boundaries against negative stuff. So boundaries in themselves are just boundaries. They're not good and bad or whatever. But you have boundaries that are in place that are a good thing, that are helping you. You also have boundaries in place that are not helping you. And those are the ones that we're taking down. Those are the structures we're taking down. When you do that, 6 of Cups with the Daughter of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. You're reigniting a relationship with yourself, number one. A relationship with a sort of childhood joy, a kind of childhood free flow that you've not had before. And this has been lacking, severely lacking in your life. It has been squelching you in some way. And now this is opening up the energy flowing through that root system to nourish and support you. Okay, so you've chosen, the first card out was this freaking 5 of Cups. You had chosen to stay in that suppressive energy because it was predictable, right? Now you're choosing this other energy and it provides growth. And growth can be unpredictable. Who knows how you're going to grow, how it's going to change tomorrow. It brings in change, but that change is positive. It's providing you with nourishment. It's providing you, it is a new beginning for you with this Daughter of Cups coming up. But it also means that you're opening up these like kind of, and not that Virgo isn't emotional or doesn't have emotions or, you know, obviously all of us are different. We're also individuals and we have all kinds of energies going on in our chart. So I'm not trying to say that, but you are going to be experiencing new emotional experiences that might feel uncertain or unfamiliar at first. But what you're going to discover as you surrender and surrender and surrender more into this energy is that you are fully familiar with that. It is like a remembering, a coming back home to yourself. I used that word I used that phrase in a private session yesterday, coming back home to yourself, that you're doing through this process. For divine compliments, I keep bringing you guys up this week for whatever reason. It must be a big week for Twin Flames divine compliments. As you come back home to yourself, you are providing the situation in which the divine compliment comes back home to him or herself, and therefore you both come back home to each other. This is a gateway and an important step in that process if you are resonating with that process. It's an ascension process. It is not about a relationship. It is not about really even a partnership or anything like that. I mean, it is, but it isn't. This is an ascension process, and it is coming home to yourself. And it involves 2 people in that situation. So, this is a very positive energy, and it's one that feels like a plant that hasn't been watered in like a week getting rain, okay? And now I've got that song in my head that is it's older. It's like from the 90s, I think, because I remember in college. It's I Miss You Like the Desert Misses the Rain or something like that. I'll put the link in case it means something to you. Yeah, new cycle coming in. The World card came up. So the end of this negative cycle, the cycle of shame, guilt, whatever, obligation, bullshit cycle, and the beginning of a new one, of allowing, of the flow of unconditional love. Definitely get the feeling of flow through this, a sort of raising of the vibration. Two other cards came out. What were they? And here is the advice, of course, 10 of Wands with the 5 of Swords. It's really about releasing the burden of the constant control of the conscious mind, and really the ego mind, more than just the conscious mind, because I feel like the conscious mind is broader than that, but it can be equated with the ego mind. And these are the thoughts that are piercing and penetrating, and they keep you in a state of fear and in a state of competition and fighting. So whether that's fighting within yourself, fighting with other people, within a relationship or at your job, or feeling like you need to compete, all that stuff, those are ego mind issues, and there is a massive need to just fucking drop it on the floor like a bunch of sticks and discard it. Release the burden of the ego mind. That is hard, I know, but that is what ends the cycle. And that is what ushers in all this new stuff that we're talking about, okay? This is what, do you see these two cards? They are both black and bleak. This is what is keeping the flow of this positive energy from being able to work with you. I'm not saying it isn't ever working with you, or that you don't have anything positive in your life, but this right now is the message. This is the big block for the next 2 weeks. This is the big shift, the big movement in your own sign. So you're being supported heavily by the energy of the sun. Here's the sun in your sign. And allowing yourself to finally get past this sort of these lower thoughts, this kind of lower vibrational behavior. And we all do it. It's not just Virgo. Everybody does it. This is your special invitation, guys. Do it. Father of Wands, empowerment, a real, lightning bolt to your life in a good way. My dog's having dreams next to me if you hear weird sounds. This is it, just empowerment. This is absolute attraction of all of the good things into your life. This is just an absolute blowing open of all of the vortexes around you. It's life-changing. If you can do this, it's literally life-changing. Paradigm shifting. Okay? Guys, I hope this was helpful for these next 2 weeks. If you would like to schedule a private with me, www.IamEmilyGear.com, and I will get back to you very quickly and set that up with you. And if we don't talk before then, I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye, guys.